Yeet. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey. Hey. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Happy to see you guys in here. It's the trade room, y'all. We got charts today. We go macro. We thinking big picture. Let's go now. Let's go now. Let's go now. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. This is about to be fun. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. It's a macro Saturday. We got things to talk about. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Listen, like, subscribe, put your alerts on. I'm happy to see y'all here today. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey, welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. We're gonna get started soon, guys. Love you guys for showing up. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share with a friend. It's time to get litty. See you soon.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the trade room, guys. Like always, let me get that sound check to know everything is on and popping. We have had too many muted streams. It's a macro Saturday. You know what we do here. If you're here early and on with us, let's get a thumbs up. Let's get them thumbs up early. If it's your first time here, make sure to subscribe. And guess what, guys? Tonight we are streaming on 3 different platforms. We got Twitter, or X, as you would say. We have YouTube, and we have Twitch. Affinity, thanks you for the sound check. Tune Fed, thank you for the sound check. Man, there's some things going on in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, and we got some things to talk about. First of all, big shout out to the Jewelers. They made an announcement recently, right? And what I would call a pretty bullish announcement recently. Shout out to them. Okay, they will and they do go on live right after me at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys. So if you're here, send this to a friend that may be chilling tonight if he wants to catch a little bit on what's going on in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. But also, too, check out what I consider my journal. Okay, and what I'm doing currently within the ecosystem, and we're gonna talk some spicy things tonight. Some spicy things tonight about price action, the FOMO that happened, the rise to what, 78, 75 cents, and what that means moving forward. Guys, let's go over today's itinerary. While we know, Jewel, the rumbling, it's coming. And what is a part of that process? If you've been here with us for at least the last 6 months, you know the economic hardening theory. You know what that's about. So before we go over our itinerary, as you guys know, we always start with market conditions. A lot of things to possibly chart today. As we go through that, shout out to the chat. Big shout out to the OG Skiller. Shout out to GameFi Guardian. Shout out to Affinity Lotus, Tune Fed, Sticks Intern. Shout out to you guys, man. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the room tonight. I detailed earlier the trade room is a combination of Trading View, the app that lets you look at different assets, and also a combination of the Shade Room, which is a historically black centered page that gives updates and stuff on what's going on. So I am not a trader. I'm a macro long term investor, but I'm always practicing and always learning. So, without further ado, what do we have lined up tonight? A night where we have gotten some massive price action on the Jewel token and the overall DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. We're going to talk about the charts. That is what I do. It is fun for me and I like to share it. So we're going to talk about the charts. BTC, we're going to always start with that. That's the leading indicator of what's going on. AVAX, Jewel, Crystal, and then other assets within this ecosystem. Now, at the end of this stream, I'm going to tell you my picks, right? We've had this big run. We're seeing this correction happen. And what am I looking at, right? What am I trying to scoop up, right? I have my claim your legacy, command your legion. And what am I looking at? What am I trying to pick up based upon the charts, right? We're spending 2 hours here. Let's find out. All right, we're going to talk importantly. Volume precedes price. What do I mean by that, right? Practice, practice, practice for the top. The recent selling that I did wasn't, oh my gosh, he doesn't want to hold. Oh my gosh, he's going to miss the rest of the run. No, the recent selling that I'm doing is practice, practice, practice for the top because the top is going to come at some point. And my goodness, do you know how it feels when you are selling and everybody's screaming buy? Do you know how that feels? And the content that I put on Twitter, how I'm being very open about it, I don't have to be. But I have a general understanding that there is a psychology with the markets. There are probabilities, and then there's human behavior. And so, how does it feel? What does it look like when you are selling and everybody's screaming buy, right? It's important to know. And the practice, practice, practice that I do gets me there, right? We're going to talk about that market psychology test. And we're going to talk about how I missed the top of this current move by 15 cents. And what does that mean moving forward? We're going to talk about Jewel. I put out a recent tweet today. Jewel is the BTC of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. What does that mean? All right. We're going to talk about the $13 holla quickly, the economic hardening theory quickly, and Affinity Lotus, aka Light, his strategy, what he's been doing, and how that just melts so perfectly into the economic hardening theory and the $13 Hala experiment that we did. I'm going to leave room for, the chart, the chat to tell me, what do you guys want me to look at? Right? I don't mind looking at things. I'm not going to tell you to go buy and sell it. And by the way, within the intro, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Do not take anything I say or do as financial advice. Please do your own research. Please make your own decisions. This here is just a journal of mine where I like to document what I'm doing as a fallback in the future. Okay. And then we're going to look at some tokenomics. There are some tokenomics with Jewel, right? DeFi Kingdoms team and platform recently put out some information about the tokenomics that we've all known for a long time. And we've all gone through the struggle of the tokenomics and some of the changes that happened. We're going to talk about my picks, and that is the entire stream for today. Obviously, the game exists. And if I do charts, it doesn't mean that we cannot take a quick little pit stop at our destination area just to do what? Yeah, we're gonna take a little pit stop here to tune in to the game. This is what the game is. This is what it looks like in Crystal Vale. This is the feel. You go to the cradle, you have this awesome visuals and graphics here. And so listen, yeah, this is the trade room. I'm gonna do a lot of talking about charts and probabilities and all that. But lo and behold, the game exists. It is here. It has been 2 years of development, economic hardening, trouble, pains, everything you can think of. And now you can head over to the hunts and do a boar hunt and fight and try to get some loot. You can go to duels. Duel season 6 is out. You can hop in here, go solo, squad, or war, and get it popping to do what? To get some dual rewards. Okay? The economic hardening engine in this game is bar none, and I would like somebody to make a comparison to the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem so that we can see and compare if it compares to anything else. All right. So we spent a little bit of time in the game. I gave you guys the juice, all right, of the game. We are going to get into the markets. And before I do that, as we're gonna look at the chat here. All right. Now, look, guys, I'm gonna leave some space for me to tap into the chart and or tap into the chat and see what is going on here. Let's see. We have King James in the building, and King James, he already knows what it is, man. He already knows what it is. We're gonna talk about them charts because it is important, especially now that we have eyeballs coming in, volume coming in, and everything else. So, guys, we're here. Kick back. Big shout out to the jewelers. They come on after me at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And guys, before we even jump into the charts, this is the big announcement from the jewelers. I gotta say, I wasn't a part of a guild yet. I was holding back on it a little bit, but I've been working with the jewelers for quite some time now on the $13 Hala, and some other things. And here's the announcement. Our favorite thing about DeFi Kingdoms is the thought of guilds battling it out to claim their legacy. To take the jewelers to the top, we need more firepower. So we're adding Affinity Lotus, aka Light, and the Trade Room as guild masters to assist in building our guild and taking it to the top. We are excited to see all the DeFi Kingdoms guilds grow together and keep building the competition to come with the banter and talk. See you in the kingdoms. And so, look, I'm here with the jewelers. Okay. I like their guild. I like their people. We're a big community. We love everybody. But Mythic Squad, what other guild is possibly right on the heels of Mythic Squad? Let's see. Right now, we have a couple Mythic Squad individuals. We have Skiller, and we do have Sticks who popped in here earlier. I love the Mythic Squad, man. They came in and they went balls to the walls on coming into the ecosystem within the bear market and just not caring about price and doing what they have to do. So big shout out to the Mythic Squad. And before we jump into the marketing conditions, I want you guys to understand something. I've been here for almost the entire time of DeFi Kingdom's ecosystem. We've been tracking it. We've been here in a bear market where people telling us we were in a rug pull. And so let's take a look at a post from September of 2023 as the whales were selling, as price action was dropping. What was the general thought process of a macro individual who looks for macro changes and macro patterns? Let's take a look.
Trade room. Let's talk crypto gaming. Let's talk DeFi Kingdoms and the primary token that goes with this RPG game here called Jewel. Now, we're going through a bear market, and we've seen a Jewel token go from $25 all the way down to 7 cents. We've seen some recent impulses from it, and what's healthy? What's healthy is some strong price action, and we are looking for the inverse head and shoulders. If we can hold this support at 9 cents and break through to the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders at 16 cents, that's something lovely to see. That's something to give confidence. But the most important thing is that this ecosystem has many more tokenized assets that are moving within their own price action. DeFi Kingdoms, bullish. Let's watch this too.
You guys heard that? DeFi Kingdoms, bullish. Jewel, the rumbling. It's coming. And if you guys know anything about Attack on Titans, if you watch anime, we saw how that rumbling looked. And we saw there was absolutely nothing that could be done about the rumbling. And the genesis story behind Attack on Titan is that 2 or 3 societies only cared about themselves. Thought the other side was the evil side. And at the end of the day, now you have the rumbling coming. It's unavoidable. There is no good side. There is no bad side. There is just the rumbling. All right. And so, again, we're going to get into charts, but I'm just hitting you guys with the tidbits. What have we been focusing on? Macro. This is a macro channel. Okay. So when you talk macro is normally 3 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, 10 to 15 years. So even though we're looking at the charts, even though we're doing some of these short-term movements, even though I was selling, okay, through this run as practice, do understand that I'm a macro investor. And if you have not seen yet, okay, this on my YouTube channel, again, if you're here, thank you for being here. Make sure you put the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch if you have not followed us yet. But we had a theory, okay? We had a theory. What was our theory? Why blockchain gaming will dominate crypto headlines. Economic hardening theory. Blockchain gaming, economic hardening theory, mega bullish charts. Let's catch up to what's happening in the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. P.S. XRP Clarity plays a part in the macro picture. If you have not seen this, please go take a look at this because I dig in to not just the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, but the overall gaming ecosystem, what's happening there, and what we should or could be keeping an eye out on. So if you haven't seen that, please go ahead and go take a look at that. All right, so we are gonna hop right into the charts, but what I'm actually trying to pull up here is another receipt. Okay, look, it's a macro Saturday. I have 2 hours before the jewelers. Stick with me if you want to. Don't stick with me if you don't want to. We are talking macro. A lot of things have happened, and we need to check receipts, right? We're going to talk about what we were looking at before, where we are at now, and what is to come. All right. So, looking at my portfolio, I am looking to pull up a specific tweet of mine, and I am not going to hold up too long on this. If I find it, great. If I do not, we will move on. By the way, shout out to Portal. We're farming the airdrop right now. There's not much that I know other than we're farming the airdrop on Portal right now. Okay, perfect. I believe I have found what I am looking for. So again, we're about to go into the charts. Okay, we're about to go into the charts, but we keep having to look at the grander picture that we have here, and what were we looking at? What was our inferences? What's assisting us to make the decisions that we are making today? So, oops, what's going on here? Okay, so I have shifted back to some of our tweets here. And if September, we said, what is the healthiest price action for Jewel? Since going up 90% on 3-day bullish divergence, we've seen a 40 of a 50% correction, of a probable 50% correction. Support at 0.09 with the inverse pattern head and shoulders is what we would love to see for a powerful test of 1750. Watch the Fed, SPY, DXY closely. All right. And we have Ogre hitting me up and saying, love your take, bro. And so we were in a time here where things did not look good. Things did not look good. Whales were selling. Slow Mad and other influencers are putting out memes. Oh, remember this rug pull? Bad sentiment. People just down, right? And so when you are a macro investor, you want to look at macro patterns, macro probability, but you want to know the order and series of things that you are trying to follow. And so after a 10 to 15 minute intro, it is time for the charts. Grab some water, grab some refreshments, grab some juice. We're going to start. Now, when you talk macro picture, okay, you have to look at not only charts, you have to look at fundamentals, you have to look at technicals, and then you have to look at combining all those things with human psychology. Okay. What you're looking at and seeing with these charts are data over long periods of time based on human behavior. So, yes, human psychology is priced into the charts. A famous saying, everything is priced into the charts. And so, why start at Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the leading indicator, right? Bitcoin is the leading indicator. After Bitcoin, you want to look at the particular blockchain that's involved within your ecosystem. For us, it is AVAX, it is Clayton. It used to be Harmony. We won't talk about that. But right now, it's AVAX, it's Clayton, and we still have another blockchain to go to, another realm or two to launch. And so we're going to do that today. We're going to go Bitcoin, AVAX, Jewel, Crystal, Gold, and Moksha. And we're doing that for a particular reason, but we'll start with volume precedes price. Okay. And so looking at Bitcoin, if you've been here with us at least for the last 4 weeks, you have gotten a constant reminder of why we're looking at Bitcoin, what we're looking for. There's a macro theory about Bitcoin never going below its previous all-time high. If you want to go check that, I have videos on it. Go check it out. Right now, we have Bitcoin really from the all-time high. Bitcoin is, and let's pull out a ruler, from the all-time high from our current areas, Bitcoin is only about 47 to 50% from that all-time high. Not that far away. Okay. And that's looking at monthly candles. But what have we been tracking? Well, we have been tracking since the bottom reversal area, this general channel that Bitcoin has been in. And we got a scare. Okay. I know there's a lot of things that we're looking at here, but again, following this channel, we have Bitcoin deviating from this channel. And right before it deviated from this channel, we drew our projection on it. And what was our projection? Our projection was, even with this deviation, we did not remove this projection from here. We have a 147-day, 57% run for Bitcoin as our projection. We have that as our projection based upon our macro rules that we are following. Even with the deviation from that rejection, from that channel, we're right back in that channel with some time still to go. And let's take a look at how much time that we have left. We have another 28 days to go. We have another full month to go on this projection that we started out with in August of 2023. Let's continue to move on. And we're going to remove this from here. And so we're still 30 days left within this projection. We expected fully for Bitcoin to come back into this range, which was bullish for the rest of the market. And so if you have been dollar cost averaging like some of us have been, then this correction was a sale. This re-entry back into that channel was a confirmation. And this general area here for Bitcoin is the F around and find out zone. Let me draw that again. The F around and find out zone. And we saw when Bitcoin first visited the F around and find out zone. I'm going to switch over to the daily chart. When Bitcoin first came into the F around and find out zone, we saw it have a hard time here and it broke through. We're getting to that top of the F around and find out zone. But recently I have been bearish, right? Not like super bearish, but bearish enough where if Bitcoin corrects, you're going to have an overall correction in everything else. Remember, why are we looking at Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a leading indicator. And so not only are we about to touch the top of this big channel that we have here for Bitcoin, and what does this channel mean? This channel is the determination of Bitcoin entering a bull market. Okay. This is the channel. If Bitcoin exits this channel, finds some support and finds a way to bounce out of here, confirmation, Bitcoin's it's officially in a bull market, with the Bitcoin halving coming in April. Even if Bitcoin comes up here, rejects, comes back down here to test this $42,000 area, which I think no matter what correction happens, Bitcoin could and is more likely, probability wise, to find a strong support at 42,000 with how bullish it currently is. And so, am I short-term bearish? Yes, we'll talk about that when we get to Joule. But right now, Bitcoin is in a consolidation area. Why am I also very confident is because this channel, Bitcoin has some trouble getting through at the halfway mark of this channel, this dotted line. And so it's to be expected that after this parabolic move, it's going to have a hard time getting through this channel, even possibly doing what? correcting back down from this channel. And the last data point before I move on to AVAX is there was some bearish divergence with Bitcoin. And where does that bearish divergence live in? We've been tracking a lot of bullish divergence, but you also have to be wary of bearish divergence. And over here, I noticed some bearish divergence where price action is going up, but RSI, relative strength indicator, is going down. That's a bearish indicator. And so if Bitcoin is bearish, what's going to happen to the ecosystem below it, especially after a huge parabolic run? Probably going to be bearish too. And so Bitcoin is that leading indicator. Volume precedes price is something that we'll look more closely at when it comes to Jewel. But let's go ahead, now that we understand where Bitcoin is, where we see Bitcoin going, which is again that full 57% correction, 57% run, right, that we were anticipating all the way in August. Where is Bitcoin to go now so we can wrap it up and we can now move on? Well, we definitely think Bitcoin is going to test the all-time high. We have pretty good confidence in it. Bitcoin ETF, probably looking at January, February approval, and we're going to test this all-time high area, which is, I think, again, a 28% run from here, and $216 is the $216,000 is the macro outlook from the place where we started targeting and checking the macro outlook on Bitcoin. That's a 444% run. For me, I don't own any Bitcoin. It's a leading indicator. So, oh my gosh, if Bitcoin makes this run to $216,000, that'd be amazing. But even if Bitcoin goes to test the all-time high, that'll be superb because we've been preparing for this since the last bull market. And so now we can move on to AVAX. Why do we track AVAX? AVAX is a layer one. We have the layer ones taking off like Solana, but also too, AVAX, the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, uses the AVAX technology for its DFK chain. The DFK chain, it's its own blockchain. It also has its own primary token as of Jewel that lives on Crystal Veil. So it's the Crystal Veil blockchain with the Crystal token as the power token, the Jewel token as the gas token, similar to Ethereum, where in order to utilize the ecosystem, you have to burn and utilize your Jewel for transactions, along with other things like the Jeweler and the Gardens, where you get to stake your Jewel for different in-game incentives and DeFi. You have to remember, DeFi Kingdoms is a combination of the greatest things in crypto: smart contracts, NFTs, DeFi, gaming. That's the entire narrative moving forward for the crypto ecosystem, along with your layer ones. And so guess what? AVAX has to be a part of that because DeFi Kingdoms is using the subnets of AVAX, where it is its own chain. However, that subnet is having network effects on AVAX, and AVAX market cap moving up also helps the DeFi Kingdoms moving up. So it's not a take all and not give. It's a give and take, and DeFi Kingdoms transactions are top 10, top 5, top 3 highest transactions in crypto, the entire crypto space on any given day. And so we have been watching AVAX. We have been tracking it. Go follow me on Twitter if you want more consistent updates on some of these tokens that we're tracking, because all I do is talk about charts on my Twitter. So we were tracking AVAX. We were tracking this long-term bearish downfall of the AVAX price action. And we've been in a bear market. But what you have to understand is there are patterns within patterns within patterns. And when you have the Bitcoin halving coming up, you have Bitcoin ETF coming up. Yes, we have been in a downtrend where we have been down, you know, a 700 2 years actually, right? Just about almost 2 years. A 714-day, 94% downtrend in AVAX. People probably gave up on AVAX, but what they were not seeing is even with this downtrend, AVAX was forming a descending triangle looking for a breakout. Again, go watch my other streams if you want to see a full breakdown of what this means, the different support areas. I ain't got time for that right now. What we want to understand is it's been a full breakout of this downtrend. Okay. We spoke in our previous streams and said that 1350 was that area to be impressed. Nothing impressive about this. Once you broke 1350, $21 area as a resistance area, we saw 4 weeks of hanging out in this area. But overall, we said that $21 area, if we can bounce off of that, and turn that into support, we can enter a full blown out bull market for AVAX. And at this current moment, I am convinced that we are in a full blown out bull market for AVAX. And from when we started tracking this on the trade room, at least via YouTube, we were projecting a possible 2,000% run. And let me adjust this to fit the full fib level. A 2,068% run for AVAX, a max high of $222 to have its first full Fibonacci retracement. Now that's not as high as it can go. That's the place where I'm like, probably want to take some profit. You probably also at around $140 might want to take some profit. Not financial advice. This is my journal. But that's what we're looking at with AVAX. Bull market bounce at $21 confirmed with a nasty weekly chart. Right, nasty weekly chart right here. And out of the 2,000% run from the area of tracking it from our streams, we are up a full 228%. That's a macro outlook. Okay, so what's next for AVAX? Similar to Bitcoin, we're expecting a bit of a correction. We have made it now to $34, which is the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. We could have a correction that comes back down to test the 382. We could have an extension. I don't care, right? I'm expecting my correction. And, that correction could have us seeing that correction could have us seeing a possible, what is this called? A total of a 15% down to find some support here. And what we're looking at from here is you can continue to go up. We don't care. Or you can come back and have a correction here, find your way through here, and lead us into that bull run. You have confirmed it for us, AVAX. $21 back test of a bull run to come. And if I zoom in a little bit more, you can see how 21 was such a tough area. But once AVAX decided it was ready to go, it was ready to go after a 20-day consolidation in that $21 area. And so AVAX is bullish, probably a correction coming. Now from Bitcoin to AVAX to what? This is all what we've been waiting for. Now we get to Jewel. I haven't even started talking my shit yet. I have not even started talking my shit yet. Okay. Before I do that, let's hop into the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I know I go on my rants and stuff like that. Let's see what's going on in the chats. We have Affinity in here saying 1 million jewelers. 1 million jewelers? Listen, man, the jewelers is out here heavy. I might try to get my boy King James, okay, and his brother, who is the who's the associate. Sticks intern, the associate, may be making a guest appearance here, and he's the brother of King James. Listen, what the hell? Listen, you know it's popping when you start to get spam comments on on your your chat here. So Sticks intern is in the house. Okay, so we have Skiller saying, "Can you look at KDA or Crow?" Yeah, Sticks. We're gonna talk about suggestions at the lower end of the stream. So just make sure that when I put that tab up, you pull that up. All right. Make sure when I put that tab up, you pull that up. Right now, we're gonna head to practice. We're on volume precedes price. We're gonna talk about that with Jewel. But shout out to everybody else in the comments. We have Sticks. Oh man, so many suggestions coming. We're gonna look at that, right? But we do have Sticks. Let's fucking go, Jewel, baby. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We have Sergeant Filthy McNasty in the building. Yo, what's up, Sarge? Who else we got in here? We got Mellow Fellow talking about bullish on Tears. Ooh, we have Tears lined up today. And we have Sticks saying the associate is the associate indeed. Yeah, the associate is gonna make a guest appearance, man. The associate was complaining a lot with the holiday wallet. I don't see him complaining a lot anymore. He's pretty chilling. So let's run through some of the Twitter stuff right now. We got a couple people on Twitter right now streamed into us. Again, this is the first Saturday that we are on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Everything is working flawlessly. I love it, right? But let's holla at, we're going to take a little piss stop and holla at our Twitter right now. There's a lot of stuff happening in the DeFi Kingdom ecosystem. Shout out to Grady. Shout out to Dreamer. They're going to be fighting. Literally, they're going to be fighting in karate combat. Do you understand what's happening with this entire crypto ecosystem? We are seeping into a whole lot of markets, a whole lot of industries, and a whole lot of industries understand that we are a nascent, innovative ecosystem and a new asset class, and we are here to stay. So let's see what's going on with karate combat. I love everything I'm seeing from it. Grady's fighting, Dreamer's fighting. We have to protect Dreamer. We're gonna see who Dreamer's fighting right now. But look at Dreamer's leg kicks. I'm gonna run this back. Look at Dreamer's leg kicks.
Look at this man's kicks. Kicks for DeFi Kingdoms, baby. This man's got legs for days. Legs for days, baby. And his opponent, baby. Over here training. Let's go, Scott. My man training me, baby. Yes. Woo. We got my favorite guy on TV, Adam Charles. What do we got here?
Yo, can we pause right here? Yo, BitBoy Crypto fighting? BitBoy Crypto fighting is the funniest shit ever. Okay, first of all, my guy BitBoy Crypto came in and all of a sudden he was like, I'm the XRP Supreme Commander. What? When did you become the XRP Community Supreme Commander? We've been the most shitted on, aside from DeFi Kingdoms, the XRP community has been the most shitted on ecosystem. When did you become the supreme leader? I have to hear this background, and so hopefully I get a chance to talk to BitBoy Crypto at some point. But I love his uppercut. I see why he's practicing it. all I commented was, hey, Dreamer is about to send his opponent to Valhalla. I watched UFC. Dreamer is not playing. His opponent, we saw him. He's going to send him to Valhalla. It's going to be a tough battle. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough battle. He's going to send his opponent to Valhalla. Okay. Big Boy Crypto, who is your opponent? Because I want to know that. I want to analyze if your uppercut, okay, if your uppercut is going to work on your opponent because you're practicing it. It's your haymaker. Get a little more legs under it. But this is going to be super interesting.
Let's go. Yeah, baby. Kicks for days. Baby.
Oh, okay. So that was that. Let's see what Grady has to say.
I'm wrecked. We got Ben. We got Phil. Baby. Dreamer. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, guys. So listen. That's some massive stuff right there. If you're not following Karate Combat, which I thought I was following these guys, something's happening with Twitter. I'm following them now. Okay, we're gonna go on like a few things, and I swear I was following them. But if you're not following Karate Combat, make sure to go follow them, man. There's some crazy things happening here, and we've seen the growth of UFC. And now with Crypto.com already advertising on UFC, Karate Combat, boy, oh boy, if fighting meets crypto, it is game over, and it already may be game over. So we head back to the charts, to the long-awaited Jewel, okay? And I want to start off by saying, nobody's doing charts the way I'm doing charts, okay? Nobody's putting it out there the way I'm putting it out there. Look, you got some of these big accounts, and some of them have started to follow me. You have some of these big accounts coming in, and they're making their own calls. I don't mind, but we've been here the whole bear market. I've been watching Jewel price action for the last 2 years. Can I cook? Are you guys going to let me cook? Because when I put out that I'm selling, it's not because I don't believe in the ecosystem. This is practice. Practice for the top of the market. You have to practice, okay? Michael Jordan doesn't just go to 6 NBA finals and step back. That famous free throw line jumper. Doesn't just happen. You gotta practice. Hold up. Let me cook. So I'm selling as the prices are rising, and people are like, oh, you don't want to sell. You're gonna miss the boat. We're going to $1.50. That's okay if you have your own stuff. I have my own stuff. It's my journal. Okay. So this is practice. What? Practice for the top, because the last time, I was doing charts, but I was so caught in my euphoria that I didn't think, hey, what is the macro setup for Jewel if it tops out? Didn't do that last time. You will not catch me slipping again. And so this is practice. And we're going to look at this Jewel chart, and we're going to see exactly what I'm seeing, what we've been tracking, this inverse head and shoulders, and why I sold at where I sold, the lessons that were learned, and understanding market psychology. Okay. So going into the Jewel chart, first of all, we were looking for this inverse head and shoulder. And it's not a regular inverse head and shoulder. It's not like an inverse head and shoulder, some sort of short-term inverse head and shoulder. This was an inverse head and shoulder for the ages. This is, hey, what's the healthiest price action for Jewel? And we'll go back to the tweet that was put out. What's the healthiest price action for Jewel? The healthiest price action for Jewel is an inverse head and shoulders, because on a macro level, after 2 or let's say a year and change of bearishness, a macro pattern brings the most powerful moves you'll see in crypto, especially on a bottom. There are not a lot of people that can catch bottoms. There are people that hop on after. I've seen a lot of that. I'm not going to call any names. There's people that hop on after, but how tough is it when you're in the bottom of that pattern? And so the inverse head and shoulder has clearly played out. Okay. We're not going to spend a lot of time here at the inverse head and shoulder, but the inverse head and shoulder clearly played out. We have an impulse from the inverse head and shoulder. We have, and if I could just zoom this in and set it up. Oh gosh, let's take this off. You have, we projected, let me just get this straight. We projected a run on the first macro move to 50 cents. Okay, from the low to 50 cents, or over here we have 55 cents, 54 cents, depending on how you draw the probability. That was from the bottom a 692% move. So we projected a 692% move. Okay. And we were expecting a back test of that 600, or not even a back test once we hit that 29 cent area. If I can go find my tweet, we'll take a look at my mentality, because again, this is my journal. Okay, this is what I'm going to use at the top of the market, or what I believe is the top of the market. We started with Jewel next leg after breaking that 17 cent marker, 17.5. Jewel next leg, 295, smashed. I mean, dude, absolutely smashed, right? And I even expected a back test here. It said no back test of 15. We're on to 23. After 23, we have 34. After 34, we have 38. 38 was a place where, by my golly, I was gonna consider selling, or start that practice of selling 10% of my allocation. And so 44 cent was the next move. And then overall, the first macro leg is 50 cents. First macro leg is 50 cents. That's it. Okay. So once we passed 17, 29.5 was that next area. At 33, I expected a correction. We did not get that. Okay. But at 33 or 34, I sold 1,000 Jewel. I sold 1,000 Jewel, my first 1,000 Jewel at 34. Okay. Jewel could still extend to 38 short term. But what we have seen so far is more than I expected. It's all about your strategy. This is not financial advice. The objective, buy more Jewel, or if I'm wrong, buy more heroes, as Crystal's PA is far behind Jewel. That was my mindset. That was my thought. Then at 46, sold another 1,000 Jewel as we geared towards our first macro leg. Macro leg was what? Macro leg was 50 cents. Purchasing 400 more heroes, as I was wrong, right? We didn't get a rejection. My first 1,000 could not be then used as the only 1,000. But again, I have bullets in the holster. I also was purchasing Jade as a hedge, because if we continue this thing forever, Jade is the most, and Claytonville and Sarandale 2.0 is the most ignored ecosystem. And I will play that because Jade is under a penny, or at least at that time. Okay, kids, Do not try this at home. So I continued. So another 1,000 at 60, as we were 770% up from the macro lows. Now we passed that 50 cents full Fibonacci retracement area that I was looking at. But what did I say? All I said was, okay, I sold another 1,000 at 60 with another 25% marked. So we had another 25% to go. We've already ran 770%. I don't give two shits about a 25% return after 770%. So guess what? The historical bearish confluence sits at 75 cents, 94 cents, and 130. A 50% correction from these levels should not come as a surprise. Hedge, buying more jade. And when you look at it at the current moment, right? 75-cent area, historical bearish area, 33 area, 34 area, where I wanted to start selling. That 59-cent area was a 770% return area. I sold at 60 with what? 25% more to go from that area to that first bearish possible area. And that's where I just sat because I was like, oh, it's still going up, right? Meanwhile, I did have people commenting saying that I shouldn't be selling. But again, no shade, no beef. This is my practice. This is my practice for the top of the market. I want to see what happens. I want to see what my thinking is. I want to see what the market psychology is. And then I want to be able to make a decision from there as I learn more along the line. So I hope you guys understand. I missed the top by 15 cents. 15 cents. And as we hop back into the Jew chart, let's look at the areas in which I am speaking of. Okay. So these pink areas, 33 cents. 34 cents. I sold my first 1,000. Okay. 44 cents. Sold another 1,000. And then 60 cents. Sold another 1,000. Now, from that area, like I said, a 24% move that was left because we got rejected at the historical bearish area that I said. We got rejected there, right? And price action even went a little bit higher than that. Let's see. From the 60-cent area that I sold, price action went 30% from there. But if we're looking at a 770% rise compared to a 30% rise. So guys, look, since that rejection from the historical bearish confluence area at 75 cents, we're going to switch over from the weekly to the 4-hour. Let's see what's going on now in the closer time frames. And maybe I have to refresh my screen here, but it's not switching over. Bear with me, guys, as I refresh. I'm going to do a time check here. We have 1 hour left in the stream. Guys, if you're here, put the thumbs up. Put the thumbs up, okay, please. If you're following us and watching on X, thank you. If you're on Twitch, I only have 2 followers on Twitch. Make sure you follow us here on Twitch, man. You know what I'm saying? So if we look at the closer time frame here, what did the tweet say? The tweet said, do not be surprised by a 50% correction. Point blank, simple. Okay, we're not teetering away from our thought processes. Do not be surprised by a 50% correction after exiting out of this macro area where we had 50 cents, and we've been calling 50 cents since 9 cents. Okay, do not be surprised by a 50% correction. And so what do we have? Let me see if I can go back here. Do not be surprised by a 50% correction. if we head back over to Jewel and we mark the top here, what has the correction been? Well, from the top here, all right, which happened the 7th of December, we are now currently 43% down. Now, if I mark this all the way to the actual very low bottom here, it was a 1 day, 16-hour, 45% dip. So I missed the top by 15%. I nailed the downtrend and missed by 5%. Now, I have some theories on where we're going, and we'll talk about that. But again, guys, let me cook. Let me Ezekiel Elliott cook. Okay? So when I'm doing my stuff on Twitter, I'm not saying just say, yeah, oh yeah, he's all the way around, but let me cook. I've been here. I've done that. We have our markers. This is where we're at. So I personally am looking for another downtrend. Okay? Another downtrend. Okay? Another 23 possible percent. Okay? To that 33 area. All right. But there are some things that I'm looking at that I'm not going to wait for those things. I'm going to start accumulating those things outside of Jewel as we move forward. And so that's where we projected Jewel. We have 94 cents. I think we get back to 75 cents after we finish this accumulation area here. We finish this correction. I think 75 cents is due. I think 94 cents is that next leg. And after 94 cents, $1.30. You know, after $1.30, $2.18. After $2.18, $3.76. After $3, after $3.76, $5. I'm going to stop there. There's no need for me to go any further than $5 because, again, we have to watch this patterns play out. And so what do I have here? I have this downwards trend here. Okay. Worst case scenario, a 54% correction from that area. Right now, we're at a 40% correction from that area. This yellow arrow is the possible pattern that I see here. And this pattern is going to form a cup and handle. If you've been here with us, guys, you fully understand what this cup and handle looks like and what this cup and handle does. And this cup and handle could brew. This cup and handle can brew to something very, very nasty. Very, very nasty. And if I go ahead and utilize this cup and handle drawing, okay, and we're going to leave Jewel off at the macro level. If I sink into this cup and handle, if this cup and handle forms and we use the same Fibonacci retracement, I'm not even going to do it from the top of this wick. I'm going to do it from my historical bearish area, and I'm going to mark it out at a macro level. At a macro level, we have, and I'm going to lay this out right here. At a macro level, we have a $2.98 Jewel, $3 basically. And then that next leg from there is $3.76. And so that's the forward-looking projection. That's my journal. That's the Trade Room's journal. That's the Jewelers Guild journal. You can make your own journal. You could do your own research. This is not financial advice, but based upon getting that inverse head and shoulder, getting that macro bottom reversal structure that we'd have here, and going through the current correction that we have here, I'm going to be buying a few assets that are within the ecosystem soon. And again, sold that 1,000 at 33, sold 1,000 at 44, sold 1,000 at 60. If this correction continues, decent sale. What are the lessons learned, right? Because we have to talk about lessons learned, right? Where we're moving on to is that Jewel is the BTC of DeFi Kingdoms. That's where we're going to next. But what are the lessons that we've learned? Well, the lessons that we've learned is a full Fibonacci tracement was 50 cents. So from those markers that I drew, I should not have sold until 50 cents. So I missed out from that 33-cent area to that 50 cents because I panicked. Even the most prepared individuals can panic. That was a 31% move that I missed out on 1,000 Joule. So when you draw, or when the trade room draws, or when the jeweler's crypto draws their Fibonacci retracements and a full extended Fibonacci, we're going to play that full extended Fibonacci before we take profit. If that was the case and I sold at 50, I'm super in profit now at that full Fibonacci retracement. And we can now execute on using that profit to do other things, which are now lower. So that's a lesson that we've learned, right? This is the first wave of 5 waves. Again, I would not delve too far in depth with some of these things that we're looking at. But this is the first of 5 waves because we did have a low, which means we have wave two, which we're going through right now, wave 3, which is the biggest wave. So if you thought you saw something from this wave 1, nah. Wave 3, which is coming after this correction wave, is the biggest wave. So in preparation for wave 3, all this practice has gone in. After wave 3, we have a correction wave 4, and then wave 5 is just that last gas, right? Kind of like BitBoy Crypto's uppercut. That's the last gas, right? And so we are preparing, we are practicing, practice for the top. The selling I'm doing is not because I'm bearish. It's practice, just like Dreamer is practicing right now, just like BitBoy Crypto is practicing right now, just like Grady's practicing right now. I missed the top by 15 cents. Okay. And do you know how hard it is? Do you know how hard it is when everybody's telling you you're wrong? Think about that. Think about how psychologically tormenting that is. You have to practice for that, right? And so we're going to now go ahead and have a general conversation about Joule is the BTC of DeFi Kingdoms. All right. And before we do that, I'm going to hop into the chat. Let me holler at the chat real quick. We have Floor Talents in here like, what's up, Floor Talents? We have Stick says, the trade room's winning voice is my favorite. Listen, man. Listen, man. We have Sergeant Filthy McNasty. I'm bullish on trade room. I mean, listen, we've been saying bullish for a while. We have Zan. Hello, fam. Hello, Zan, aka Jewelers Crypto. Okay. We have Affinity. What's good, Zan? Of course, man. Is the inverse head and shoulders called dandruff? Couldn't help. Wait. Dandruff? Oh man, Sir Word. Yeah, you're right. More shout outs to Zen. Yeah, hey, Trade has the playbook. Listen, jewelers, I know you guys are going to be tuning into the jewelers after this. Listen, my guild says I have the playbook, so I have the playbook. You know what I'm saying? Let me cook. Let me cook, man. You guys gotta let me cook. Just quite honestly, you gotta let me cook. You know what I'm saying? I wish you could chart Gen Zeros. Can that be done anywhere? Community, we need this for trade room. Yes, listen. This is where you tell the devs to do something. Whether it's the DeFi Kingdoms devs, or any other dev, I would love to track the Gen Zeros, because if Bitcoin is the leading indicator of the entire crypto ecosystem, AVAX is the leading indicator for Jewel and Crystal Veil and the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. Jewel is the Bitcoin of DeFi Kingdoms. Crystal is the Bitcoin of Crystal Veil. Then the Gen Zeros are another leading indicator that I would love to have charted somehow. So Sticks, who can we get on this? Let's get the devs, man. Like, let's do something. You know what I'm saying? Trade room, it's really hard when everyone says you're wrong, but never fear. Sticks is here for you. Yo, Worm and that dandruff line was a banger. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to like multitask or multi-think. Someone's gonna have to lay out that dandruff. That dandruff one to me again. Why am I going blank? Is it inverse head and shoulder? Oh, the head and shoulders, the shampoo. Oh my gosh, mind blown. Sir Worm, you're the man. You're the man. You're absolutely the man. So let's get right into this, right? So Jewel is the BTC of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. Parabolic runs followed by cool off, which allows the altcoins below to make their laggard moves. That's how an 85% move in 1 hour from Shavas runes. Strap in, folks. We have 100 levels. Economic hardening theory just hit stage 3. Proper trickle down economics. Okay, so we saw in 1 hour Shavas runes make a 81% move, and that is trickle down economics based upon the fact that Jewel is the Bitcoin of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. You have the big run in Jewel, you have some profit taken, and then that liquidity is looking. That liquidity is looking for the next best thing, and it trickles down to the lower assets. Bitcoin does that. It does it, switches over to Ethereum, then XRP, and then all the other stuff. And that's where you get some of these meme coins. That's where you get some of these altcoins making their biggest runs, because that liquidity, that profit taking, that trickle down economics feeds into everything else. And in America, the United States, and some other countries that like to duplicate the economic structure of the United States, you've had that benefit in the United States in so many ways, especially based upon the dollar. The unfortunate thing is that's a certain percentage no longer the case based upon false trickle down economics. And so what you're seeing in this DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem is that the economic structure and the organic economic flow is creating such organic trickle down economics that demand is allowed to go to value. Demand is allowed to go to value based on player use. They're not telling you where to go. They're just making a game. Demand finds value. And when you have 100 levels to go, and most heroes are between this 10 and 15 level area, and for that period of time, maybe 6 months, 4 months, 6 months, 6 months, 4 months, 6 months, where 70 to 85% of DeFi Kingdoms heroes have to get through level 10 to level 15. And the ratio is 5 Shavas runes, 5 Shavas runes, 4 Shavas runes, 4 Shavas runes, 3 Shavas runes, 3 Shavas runes. That is the time gap where Shavas runes can most likely make their move. And so, yes, Jewel is the BTC. As people take profit, as Jewel liquidates, you will see the flow go into other ecosystems. And so I hope that was a decent little tidbit to give you guys some feedback on my overall thought process and what we're looking at as we missed the top by 15 cents. So let's take a look at the chat real quick before we move on. And nothing going on in the chats right now. Jewel is the BTC of the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. $13 Hala, economic hardening theory, and Affinity Lotus conversation. Guys, if you're still here, just make sure you put a thumbs up. It helps us. Okay. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. If you're here on Twitter, whether you're new, whether you're old, go ahead and follow us on Twitter. You know, click on the link in the Twitter profile to head over to YouTube. Subscribe and put your alerts on so that you get first notices of what we have going on here. So listen, we're gonna get to Trade Rooms picks. What I am looking at, right? I have a little bit of time to work with. The jewelers don't come on yet. We're gonna look a little bit at, you know, what we have going on here and my picks. Right now, we're gonna talk about $13 Holler. We have some comments in the chat. Are you looking at level 2 to trade the momentum? You know, it trolls for thee. If you can break down what you mean by level 2, or at least just tell me what you mean by level 2, I can better answer that for you. But we head over to Sticks. Like, subscribed, notifications on. Love the Sticks. You know, I just love Sticks, you know. Yeah, I sent them a video of my bunnies because my bunnies have ear infections, and ear infections don't look pretty. They're pretty gruesome. And so I was a little nervous for my bunnies, but it seems like this whole ear infection thing maybe going around. Don't know. But we're gonna head back to the topic of conversation. And if you guys don't know the $13 holla, go on my YouTube, look at the different stuff that we have from the $13 holla. If you don't know about economic hardening theory, go on my YouTube, go on my Twitter, click on the links for economic hardening theory. It's important to understand some of these things because it's what we base our macro theory on. And here on the trade room, I am not a trader, I'm not a short-term person, I'm a macro person, and we have macro thesis on the things that we do here. So the $13 holla was a experiment where 4 DFK content creators got into a competition mode where there were challenges, where there were series, where points could be accumulated. And those 4 players, one was going to be the ultimate champion. In the DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem, we have private duels. And so a part of the challenges was to utilize the private duels that was given to us by the team and structure our own contests, our own competitions. And the biggest caveat is these players had to start with just $13, and they were able to get in. They were able to set their gardens. They were able to buy their heroes. They were able to battle with the level 5 or under battles, right? Put their pets on. They were able to summon. They were able to come participate in the 1v1 season finale. They were able to do so many things with this $13. And at the end, they were profitable. They were profitable. Right? And so that's the economic hardening theory. Go watch that video. But now we get to Affinity Lotus. First of all, Affinity Lotus have been dropping a lot of dope content on his YouTube, on his Instagram, not Instagram, on his YouTube, on his Twitter. So if you're not following Affinity Lotus, go ahead and follow him. He drops a lot of great things. I believe his latest drop also came on as well. But Affinity Lotus had the goal of getting to or structuring his economic portion of things. A lot of times people talk about the game and oh, I'm a gamer and I'm waiting for PvP or I'm waiting for PvE, but they don't talk about some of the type of work that goes into making sure that your legion, right? The DeFi Kingdom's command is to command your legacy, claim your legion. So a lot of people talk about the game, but they don't talk about the fact that a part of this strategy is setting up your economics end of things, setting up your finances end of things. And so Affinity Lotus has dropped a lot of great content for us. His goal was to have 1,000 heroes before the start of 2024 to have all those heroes botted. And so he's not having to touch anything. He's not having to touch anything. He's just kind of doing his thing, his bots run, working his way to 1,000 heroes, and he's forever going to yield everything he needs in the game to do what it does. This is a feature, not a bug. This is a feature, not a bug of the game. And the Jewelers Crypto, the Jewelers Guild, we are not playing with that. Right? We are not playing with that. We're all on our way to 1,000 plus heroes. I think to get to a place where our economy, we never have to put any more funds into this. Our economy is working for us. And so if you haven't visited Affinity Lotus's page, go visit. A lot of tutorials, a lot of how-tos about structuring your economy, structuring your ecosystem. And for me, I have fun with the boar hunts. I've graduated. I'm a gamer. Okay. But the other fun part for me, my gaming vision, is my structure, my strategy of how to have an ecosystem that works, continues to work for me. I don't have to touch it. Everything is automatic. So if you're coming in and you're new to this ecosystem, you have to understand that there are levels. There are levels to this thing. And the Jewelers Crypto is a part of that community that helps with those levels. Because, hey, through the Jewelers Crypto, I've come in, I've set up multiple accounts. All right. If you look at these accounts here, I have Ghana land. I'm from a third world country. I was born and raised in Ghana. It's a second world country. It's ascending, right? I'm very proud of my country, but there are struggles there. People are struggling to make $50 a month. Okay. And over here in the US, you're getting paid $24, $25 minimum wage if you're in New York. Okay, so I have Ghana Land. I have Ghana Land Duplicate. I have Ghana Land 3. I have the Matrix Reloaded. And in Ghana Land 3, I have the trade room here. This specific account is a botted account that's set to do what it does. Okay, I have another account. All right, and this other account here is strictly meant to accumulate tiers. Okay, if you see this account that I have here, again, this is what happens at the Jewelers Crypto. Oh, I got a green egg. Awesome. So this isn't the tier account. Let me see if I can find. Oh, I'm not even sharing this. Oh my gosh. Back to back to the game here. I'm trying to find my tier account again to just wrap up the conversation about claim freaking brain fart. Set your legion, claim your legacy. I'm Maxi account. On the Macro Maxi account, I have my tiers here. And this account is just meant to accumulate tiers. Okay. So this account is set, it's botted, okay, and it's just accumulating tiers. And we're looking to have this account specifically accumulate tiers, other things, and we're trying to get to 40,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 tiers with a little bit of jewel for gas to have an account and a structure. I want tiers. Why? Because I have yellow pet eggs. Once they launch yellow pet eggs, I'll be hatching a lot of of yellow pet eggs, and I need a lot of tiers for that. So I have an account specifically for what? Specifically for tiers, right? And so command your legion, claim your legacy. This is a game within a game within a game, and it is absolutely beautiful how it is set up and structured. So we looked at Bitcoin, we looked at AVAX, we looked at Jewel, we're looking at some of these mechanisms and what we're thinking about, and we're gonna shift over and say, hey, chart requests. Make sure to keep your chart request in store. We're gonna talk a little bit about tokenomics, right? You know, you can think a project is bullish, but does it have the right tokenomics, right? You can think a project is bullish, but does it have the right tokenomics? And tokenomics is an important thing when it comes to the macro picture, right? Because most times tokenomics don't change. But one of the most amazing things about this DeFi Kingdoms team is their ability to see, to learn, to take data in, and to adjust. And so the tokenomics of this game, I wouldn't say completely changed, but it changed a bit, right? And the tokenomics has been a something that the market has focused on a bit, but it's all about the economic hardening mechanisms that were set up. But the tokenomics are beautiful. 100% of jewels already minted. The max supply is 125 million. The voluntary time locked, like us saying, hey, well, we're just gonna go lock it, is 40 million. All right. The supply in circulation is 72 million. Some of us have locked up our jewel for 3 years. We don't care. Why didn't the team give us a option to lock it for 10 years? Like Dreamer, second best dad. I would have taken 10 years for, you know, 10,000 C jewel, right? And the current total supply is 122. And with Jewel being the gas token for the Crystal Veil realm, we're burning Jewel. We're burning Jewel. Every transaction burns Jewel at a certain ratio, leading into whatever transaction you're trying to make. And we have Serendale 2.0 over at Clayton. So the tokenomics for Jewel DeFi Kingdoms is phenomenal. We have Crystal, which Crystal just recently allocated. All right, we're no longer minting the Crystal token. It is starting to be, not even starting to become. The Crystal token is deflationary at the current moment. How amazing is that? Is that we have these mechanisms, and Crystal and all these other tokens, including Jade, at some point are going to start to become deflationary. And with that said, let's go from Jewel over to Crystal and look at what is happening there. Because guess what? Volume precedes price. Practice, practice, practice. Market psychology. All right. So hopping into the chat room, let's go ahead and see what we have going here. So we have it it tolls for the level 2 data are the individual transactions as they are made. Day traders use them for equities trading to see. Oh, okay. Level 2 data. Okay. So what it trolls for the is referring to let's say the daily volume when it comes to the equities market, like options, or just buying and selling equities. You can look at something as well as implied volatility. You can look at the Greeks. You can look at a few things that give you a gist of what's happening, let's say that day or that week in terms of the market buying and selling. I love the RSI. But yes, thanks for that clarification there. I don't use a metric like that. I do use volume. And if I can show you where I use volume is here. All right. So if I switch over to Joule, why did I become start why did I start to get bearish on Joule? Well, for a few reasons, but one of my reasons was that volume was declining, but price was going up. That's a bearish sort of a setup. So when you look at Joule, very quickly, oh gosh, what did I just do? Very quickly for Joule. When you look at Joule, okay, you have price going up. Price going up. Okay. Let me make this yellow. Oh gosh. We have price going up. And then we have RSI going down, relative strength index. Okay. And I was tracking this for a while. Price going up, relative strength index going down, and volume going down overall. Bearish. That's it. Okay. So I watch volume. That's my indicator. And even within the hour scope, you can see it a little more. Relative strength index, RSI going down. Excuse me. Volume going down, price going up, bearish. Volume going down, bearish. So that's a bit of what I used to track what we have going on there. So thanks for the question. I tolls for D. We do have the chart here. Oh, Cardano chart, Sir Worm. Sir Worm, I did have some earlier requests there. So I may honor those earlier requests there. We do have just half an hour. We got half an hour. So we're going to wrap up looking at the trade room picks. Okay. So look, the trade room picks, we got to start off right off the bat. Crystal. That's it. Crystal. So Joule has corrected from its first macro leg. And we've seen that. Crystal, my goodness, Crystal is still looking strong. I mean, I gotta say, Crystal looks stronger. Crystal looks stronger than Joule right now. So from our lows here, all right, from our lows here with Crystal, we were projecting an initial run of 53%. Crystal by far beat that. Okay. From the lows, Crystal not only went up 132%, but Crystal went up as high as 322%, and then came back down and is currently settled at 262%. So Crystal looks strong, right? You know, for me, I am looking at Crystal. I want to accumulate some. For the longest time, what do? You buy Joule. No, you have Joule. You buy Crystal. You go shop in a tavern. Use Joule. You buy Crystal. You go shop in a tavern. Were we accumulating Joule? 70% of us weren't, because at least 50% of us weren't accumulating Joule. Were we accumulating Crystal? No, we should have, right? And so looking at Crystal, you know, what are we looking at now? If Crystal is on the trades top list, the trades to buy list, the trades to accumulate list, then what are we looking at? Well, currently from the top, Crystal had as low as a 18% correction. Right now it sits at a 12% correction, looking to, you know, have a little bit of rebound. I would be super interested in buying Crystal if even from the area that we have here, we get a 35% correction from Crystal to the full Fibonacci retracement area of about 2 cents. I would love to buy some Crystal there. Is that where we may get it? It may not be, right? Because on this 4 hour, you know, this mid Bollinger could provide some sort of support here. So yeah, put 5% in to buy some Crystal. Yes, at the moment, but I would love to see another 16-17% from Crystal. And my goodness, if I get this If I get this 35% correction from Crystal, we're going balls deep into Crystal. But again, volume precedes price, declining volume. Okay. We have, let me finish this. Declining volume. Okay. We also have some sort of bearish divergence here for Crystal. I'm going to accumulate at a 1% to 10% allocation for Crystal, but I need to see more of a downside. But again, with Crystal now being deflationary, a lot of buying pressure for Crystal right now. Will we see Crystal back at this support area with a possible 37% correction? We would hope so, but we don't know. Okay. My other pick for the trade room is Shavas runes. Okay. And we have Shavas runes currently. If we look at from the lows, Shavas runes went as high as a 518% run. A 518% run. Right now, it sits at a 278% run. From where it sits right now, we're projecting that Shavas runes could get as high as 6 cents, 7 cents, which is a 590% run from the current levels, or if it corrects lower, it could be higher. And then we have the ultimate upside at 11 cents, okay, for Shavas runes, which is about 1,000% run. So Shavas runes is on my list to accumulate. All right. And if we're looking at Shavas runes a little bit closer, all right, because remember, we have 11, we have 100 levels to go, and Shavas runes are going to be needed at a pretty high volume for that period of time. And so looking at this chart here, yeah, this is a good level for me to start accumulating some Shavas runes. I don't mind accumulating some here. But again, if we are following our proper metrics here from the high to the low, I would love to squeeze some Shavas runes at the 386, the 382 area, which is another from this area, another 5 to 6% from there. It could be that it could go lower from here. It could be another 18% from here, but I have no issue with starting to accumulate some Shavas runes from there. You guys know how I feel about gold. As well, gold is on my list, but at the current moment, I'm not buying any gold. I am just sending my miners out, doing some of the other quests, the skill quest as well, and accumulating gold for free. But gold is one of my other winners. We projected gold to run 749%. It actually ran a little bit higher than that. If we look at that, gold ran it ran at 760%. Our projection for gold was actually 980%. Okay. So from our current levels, to get to that 980%, it's about another 116%. And with our projections, what were we off by? Right, we projected 990% run for the first macro leg. We missed that by 21%. No biggie. So those are my picks. I love tiers. We're already accumulating tiers, Shavas runes, and the yellow pet eggs. I'm a big miner fan. I plan to hatch a lot of yellow pet eggs, and those are the things that I am looking for. But guys, let me cook. Okay, are you guys gonna finally let me cook? I would hope so. Okay. And so that's everything we have for charts. If we're looking at Jewel, again, we're following this here. So, Jewel could make a huge movement, but if it continues to follow this bearish divergence here, even if RSI picks up and Jewel makes a move back to 60 cents, I still would love to see a correction to that 29-cent area. That's where I would possibly think about buying some Jewel. Other than that, I am picking up other things in the ecosystem. All right. And so what else do we have on our agenda? This is the time we have. We have 20 minutes for me to look at any other suggestions that we have in the chat. Looking at the chat here, we do have Worm that says Cardano, but I'm going to look earlier in this chat to see what else was recommended. Guys, this is your chance. Okay, so you can start shooting things at me. I do have Worm here, the most recent that says Cardano. So I am gonna be behoovent to that, and we're gonna take a look at Cardano. Cardano's been one of my favorite things to follow. So we're gonna surely take a look at Cardano. Before we do that, I'd love to listen to some more DeFi Kingdoms music. Yeah, guys, bring those suggestions in. Okay, I'm currently pulling up ADA Cardano, and we're gonna take a look at that. All right, let me know what your suggestions are in the chat. A lot of history on Cardano. I'm gonna pull that up here. Okay. Let me see what else we have in the chat. So nothing else in the chat as of now. We're gonna switch over to Cardano. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. All right, that's enough of that. Let's head over to what the chat is asking for. We are looking at Cardano. Okay, I love Cardano. Charles Hoskinson, he's a cool dude. I'm an XRP holder, and he has this whole thing and beef with XRP holders because some XRP holders in the XRP community go super hard, and they will come at you if you're saying some things that they don't align with. I'm an individual that's always open to conversation, always open to chatting. But we're looking at Cardano, right? Sir Worm asked us to look at Cardano. We always start macro. Okay, so when we look at Cardano in a macro sense, Cardano has 3 months of very bullish price action. Within those 3 months, Cardano is up a certain amount. And we'll look at that. Within those 3 months, Cardano had a high of 167% move, and has currently a 149% move. I believe there's a meme coin that's launched on Cardano that's doing some amazing things right now, and that's what's bringing a lot of the FOMO in. Cardano from the lows, we have a projected from the lows here, a Cardano run of a 643% run to $1.77 as the first leg. And that first leg also looks like 1, 2, 3. Yeah. That first leg also looks like the third wave. And the third wave is always the biggest waves. It's always the biggest wave. From the bottom, a 643% run is not bad at all. And Cardano looks really bullish. Now, everything is going to need some sort of correction. With Cardano, I can see a correction coming down to the 618 area. The 618 area here would be a 22% correction. And the fact that Cardano has reached the 1 area, I would not be surprised by a 22% correction. But that would be a place of great confluence to, if you're a Cardano holder and you're dollar cost averaging, that's a place, right? Even this 52-cent area, I have it drawn here. And I've had this stuff up for a while now because we've been tracking Cardano for a while. All in all, if things are really bullish, after this first leg up of a 643% run, the ultimate upside here for Cardano, if we go ahead and draw the macro outlook here and keep things very tight, ultimate upside is about $10.97 from the current area. $10.97, that's a 1,768% run. If you look at it from the very bottom, it's a 4,576% run from when we got this bottom reversal from Cardano. So, Sir Worm, that is my breakdown of Cardano. I believe we had some other suggestions here. And let's see if I can highlight some of those suggestions. If I can see it in the chat here. Yeah, guys, again, if you have suggestions of stuff you want me to look at, definitely let me know. We just looked at Cardano as it was the most recent thing that was asked about. I'm scrolling through, trying to locate some of the other suggestions that were okay. So we did have Skiller. We did have Skiller ask about Crow and then KDA. So we're gonna start with Crow. We're gonna start with Crow. We have about 15 minutes left on the stream. So guys, we're just kicking back. We're chillaxing. We're looking at a few things. I believe I also have Crow and the history of Crow. Oh, I definitely do have Crow and the history of Crow here. Interestingly enough, I have these two markers here as the previous all-time highs for Crow. We're going to simply just draw a Fibonacci retracement from the high, and we're going to keep things tight from the high to the low here. You know, we'll keep things tight. And Crow right now sits at 4.048 cents. You know, Crow has had a high of 28% run. I mentioned Karate Combat. Shout out to Crypto Grady. I mentioned the fact that with the UFC, they have the Crow Crypto.com partnerships, and so you're seeing that everywhere. So I'm not surprised to see Crow making the move that it's making from the lows to the top of this Fibonacci retracement. That is a 267% run from the lows, from the current areas. You know, we're looking at a 64% run to the first leg. And then, you know, if we are expecting a correction, which Crow looks to be currently going through a correction, you know, we have a massive like mini cup and handle here. You know, and that cap and handle looks to be breaking out. But with the Fibonacci retracements here, you know, I could see a test of the 1618 Fibonacci retracement, even the 618 retracement, right? So don't be surprised with Cardano if from these levels it has a what looks like a 10% correction, 11% correction, and still wouldn't be surprised from these levels if we come back to test the 618 area for the 38% correction. You know, something that I haven't charted quite thoroughly since I last left it. And then something I have never charted, which is the KDA. Did I do that right? Is that the KDA? Let me go look back at Styx's comment. I'm sorry, not Styx. Skiller, KDA. Yes, he did say KDA. Okay, so let's take a look at KDA here. Look, I like Crow. Crow looks good. You know, I know that Troll Crypto loves Crow, and I always wish I kind of accumulated some Crow. You know, if you're talking about having exchange positions, Crow is a good one. But there's been a lot of scare about the exchanges and the SEC and some of those things that have been happening with that. I'm going to utilize the Binance. I'm going to utilize the Binance chart on it for KDA. And again, I haven't looked at KDA, period. So it's going to be a fresh look here at KDA. We're going to start with the monthly here for KDA. And it's not a lot of history on this thing. You know, we have March of 2022. Not a lot of history at all, at least for Binance. If there's another place that has more history, let me know. But because we don't have a lot of history, this monthly chart is not going to be the greatest to look at. Let's look at the weekly. When we look at the weekly chart, you know, we see here that there were some low lows here. There was a double bottom formed here. And so what we're going to choose to do is we're going to draw some Fibonacci retracements using the top of this movement here. And then we're going to use the low of this movement here. And I'm gonna make it a little bit tighter with the body of the candle. And what we're seeing here with KDA is that, from the lows, KDA at 42 cents, even 40 cents from the lows, it made a high of about a 90% run. It's cooled off to a 75% run. With this current overall market correction, it can come back down to from 72 cents to about 65 cents. I mean, 65 cents could be a very, 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 very strong support area here. I don't see why that can't be a good support area here. And when you have the RSI, I mean, this is really strong on the RSI here. So KDA, in my opinion, looks very strong, even though it doesn't have a lot of history on it. Very strong. Almost looks like not as strong of a powerful movement, but almost looks like a little bit of AVAX with what happened here, where it had to get to the first levels here. And overall, from the lows of 40 cents, we have about a 963% run for the first leg here for KDA. And then from the current position of where we have here, you have another 500% run here for the first leg. But even if it corrects from that correction, you're looking even better, a 587% run here, from the lows. And, if it goes back to whatever its all-time high was from the lows here, its all-time high, and I'll only use the body here, is about a 1,700% run. And then from the current prices, you're looking at to the previous highs of a 947% run. If we want to draw that high to low a little differently to try to do a more macro projection on KDA, if we utilize the highs that we have here, previous all-time high, and we utilize the lows that we have here, then my max upside for KDA is really all-time high at $7.88. But really, we know what happens in crypto. Not only do you make it back to your all-time highs, sometimes you double and quadruple. And if you're looking at this KDA position from the very lows, we have about a 7,656% run. I mean, that's pretty good, right? That's wow. That's a crazy upside if this is the bottom and we're going to extend our Fibonacci. So $32 for KDA with a 7,653% run is not too bad of a thing to look at for KDA. It looks pretty good, doesn't have a lot of history, but this weekly chart looks pretty darn good. And if you're looking at the daily, we do have this correction that we're looking at here. And again, with how strong the markets are looking, don't be surprised about a back test of a 41%, but that's not really something that's probable to happen. We have 9 to 10%, and then at the worst case scenario, we have a 24% correction here. But I like to know more about the KDA ecosystem because the price action looks pretty darn strong on it in a way where it looks pretty bullish. And so, shout out to the OG Skiller. It looks like a small cap degen play, as Skiller has stated here. But hey, listen, looking at KDA, looking pretty good, right? I don't plan on accumulating any of that, but looks pretty good. So, yes, shout out to Skiller for sharing that. Appreciate you too, Skiller, always and everything. KDA is a project that I may want to keep on the charts if I understand the industry, the sector, what it's in, what it does. I've seen it come across my platform a few times. But guys, we have made it. We've gone through the charts. We've looked at the macro. All right, we've broken down from Bitcoin to everything else. And we have to understand the macro. Jewel, the rumbling, it's coming. It's not just Jewel, it's everything else in the ecosystem that has been slowly going through this economic hardening, slowly building, and now we are at the place where we're having those trickle down economics and we're having crazy movements from some of these other assets. Listen, just let me cook. You gotta let me cook, because I've been calling and I missed the top by 15 cents. Okay, we have the historical bearish areas that we have here, but guys, bullish on the ecosystem, bullish on DeFi kingdoms, bullish on everything that's happening. A little bit of music here for the outro. And guys, if you haven't yet, make sure to put your thumbs up, make sure to like, make sure to, and it is nothing but bullish from the trade room. I will be buying the dip. I will dip. All right. I'm gonna continue to share the information that I have. Okay. I will be buying the dip. We're keeping an eye out for it. And we're gonna wrap this up here by where I am looking to buy the dip. We spoke about it a little bit earlier. I'm looking to buy other things, but if I was looking to buy Jewel, honestly, dollar cost averaging from this 44-cent area is not a bad idea, even though we are expecting more downside and a back test of this 33-cent area. That's a lovely place. All right. And so guess what? We had the inverse head and shoulders from the bottom, but guess what we have here? We have a regular head and shoulders from the top. And I'm quite honestly just seeing this for the first time. And it takes sometimes a while for patterns to show themselves to you. But guess what? We have a regular head and shoulders. But that's only on a 1 hour. That'll end soon. And we'll be on our way to the next legs. With the head and shoulders, what do you normally expect? You normally expect a retest of the neckline of the head and shoulders, sometimes maybe even lower. But once we get to this neckline head and shoulders at the 33-cent area, that's where I'd start accumulating. And certainly at the 29-cent area, that's where I would start accumulating Jewel. But I am accumulating other assets, and with those other assets, Crystal is one of my target areas because I will need it to play within the game. And I've literally just been getting Crystal in order to get heroes and other things. And so, guys, that is our stream today. The Jewelers comes on soon. Make sure you go tap into them. It is a macro Saturday. Guys, this has been epic. We will see you on the next one. And I'm here delivering my journal. We're going to bow out with the outro music, and we'll see you next time. Bullish.
Hey. Whoa. Yeet. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey. Hey. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Happy to see you guys in here. It's the trade room, y'all. We got charts today. We go macro. We thinking big picture. Let's go now. Let's go now. Let's go now. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. This is about to be fun. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. It's a macro Saturday. we got things to talk about. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Listen, like, subscribe, put your alerts on. I'm happy to see y'all here today. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. Hey, welcome to the trade room, y'all. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. It's a macro Saturday. Welcome to the trade room, y'all. We're gonna get started soon, guys. Love you guys for showing up. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share with a friend. It's time to get litty. See you soon.